Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
The Guru back again like we never left. UFC Vegas 280, Grant Dawson taking on Bobby King Green in your lightweight bout. I think a showcase bout, certainly for one fighter. Going to be an interesting card to say the least. I've got a couple betting angles we're looking at, but before we can get into that, we got a friend of the show in the building, an awesome guy, killing it over on the Club and Sub podcast. If you somehow don't listen to that, make sure you're listening to it. Danny Legs, killing it. Bro, thanks so much for coming on, man. You've been hitting them bets,
Thanks.
no?
Appreciate the kind intro, but definitely not been killing it over there.
No.
Still in the plus units, but definitely not killing it for sure. But appreciate the kind words. But I will correct you though. It's UFC Vegas 80, not 280. But
I
okay.
hope I didn't say 280.
You did.
Oh, man.
You did, but it's okay.
You were all over it.
Wow.
Did, but
I'm like,
You're doing your best. We still
You're doing your best. Yes, I know.
it's also known as UFC Fight Night 230 and UFC on ESPN Plus 88, in case anybody cared.
You know what? I don't think anyone did. So but what I do care about before we get started, I appreciate all you guys in the show already. So many people have already done the right thing. Please, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video. And if you're somehow not subscribed to the channel and here with us now, do the right thing. It's always free content, best, the best guests. I mean, look what we got. We got Danny Legs on the show tonight. Doesn't get any better than this.
Appreciate
so.
guys. Glad to be back.
Hell yeah. So, dude, also got to tell the people, stand-up guy, we got to grab a drink. John Kelly ordered us some pizza at the bar. We were hanging out before the fight night at Prudential Center, the Cejudo Aljo card. And got to say, Danny's just as cool a guy in person as you see on the show. So make sure if you guys haven't already, give him a follow too. So here we go, guys. This is what we came here for. We got the main event of the evening. Thank God Guru didn't say this was a lightweight title eliminator fight because, he loves coming up with title eliminators. But we got Grant KGD Dawson versus Bobby King Green. The KGD, I'm just going to guess that it's King Grant Dawson. So we got King versus King. I have nothing to tell me otherwise. So that's what I think. So yeah, we get into this fight here and like Guru said, I mean, it seems to be a setup, right? We got Grant Dawson at -410, Bobby Green at +320. And I mean, the over 4.5 at +160, the under 4.5 at -210. And I mean, Grant Dawson, I feel like he's getting a step down in opponent here. He's getting a step up in name, but a step down in talent. I think Bobby Green does all the same things defensively wrestling that the last opponent for Grant Dawson did in Damir Ismagulov. Grant Dawson, even if he doesn't get the initial takedown attempt going for the single or the double, when Bobby Green ends up turtling to all fours and giving up his back to get to his feet as per usual, the back take's going to happen. The body triangle is going to be in. And the question is there going to be a finish early, or is Grant Dawson going to wash, rinse, repeat for the rest of the fight? If it stays on the feet, of course I don't really like Grant Dawson there. It's just Bobby Green has slowed down a little bit, especially to start fights recently. We see in round 1 versus Ferguson, he's getting hurt before he goes and pokes Tony in the eye extremely aggressively. And in the fight before that against Jared Gordon, I mean, the dude looked a step slow. He's going strike for strike with Jared Gordon until he decides that his best option was going flying headbutt. And somehow thinking that it was his fist that did the work. But Bobby Green, I do love him as an entertainer, and I love that he's getting the main event spot here because he's going to sell the fight leading up to it. It's just I think the inevitable here is that Grant Dawson is going to get the back take, and it's just a question of if not when he finds the finish. So I got Grant Dawson early before the 2-week break in a parlay. I got 2 other pieces coming. I know Guru's got the same thing, but do you have any different analysis on this fight, Guru?
I think Bobby Green is a fantastic and entertaining fighter, like you said, TB. But you're right. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns of Grant Dawson. And sure, he may stuff an initial takedown. He does have athletic takedown defense. But the problem is he really isn't good at stuffing chain wrestling. And you saw that. Obviously, I'm not gonna say that he's at that level per se, but you saw it in the Islam Makhachev fight. The chain takedowns, couldn't stop him, gets taken down, and from there it's lights out. And Grant Dawson does not have the ground and pound that Islam Makhachev does, but he really does use the leg lace and the back take and the all the takedowns in a very, very similar way, honestly. So it's a really, really tough stylistic matchup for Bobby Green. I give Bobby a chance if this fight extends out really past the third, fourth round, more predicated mostly based on Grant Dawson's weight cut. You've seen Grant Dawson miss weight versus Marco Madsen. You see him miss weight versus Derek Minner, and you watched in the kind of even the Jared Gordon and most notably the Ricky Glenn fight, right, where he dominates Ricky Glenn in the first 2 rounds, but is so gassed out by round 3 from the grappling that Ricky Glenn smashes him, almost finishes him. I just don't necessarily have that concern because he's training for 5 rounds, and I expect him to be in absolutely prime and shape. So I just don't think that's going to be the issue here. But we've seen it before. So he comes out and misses weight for this fight. I don't like my parlay. I'll just be completely honest. But I have a pretty significant lay on the parlay because I do trust him to make it. First main event opportunity. I think he gets it done. Danny Legs, what do you think, brother?
So I'll round out the trio in saying that I obviously do think Grant Dawson wins, but I do think that he's pretty massive favorite, and I do think he should be a pretty massive favorite, but I think it's just blown out to the point where I just think it's a what we saw in the last fight with Ismagulov. I mean, a lot of people were counting him out there. A lot of people were max betting Ismagulov, thinking it was going to stay on the feet most of the time, and then Dawson absolutely put on a clinic, and now we see him at minus 500 against the skilled guy in Bobby Green. But yeah, I think Bobby, defensive grappling wise, it's a massive concern for a guy like Dawson. If he gets on top of you, he's going to finish you. I think the best way to play it at this point, though, would be Dawson ITD at like minus 135. But I think that's broadly accurate. So it's just a pass for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I get not wanting to take the -4 something. The benefit, listen, I'm still not even highly recommending, that you do it now. All these things, I would say Grant Dawson inside the distance, because if you're taking him to go and go, I don't love it. So the -210 of the under 4.5 and that Grant Dawson -410. Oh, wait a second. What is that? DraftKings actually got their lines up, so good for them.
I was going to say, if DraftKings has the same game parlay up for this too, you could probably. I doubt they incorrectly price it, but the Grant Dawson most takedowns, build some kind of same game parlay with the takedowns under.
Yes. Oh, I love the Danny same game parlays.
I love that.
He's had a good run of those. But Grant Dawson by finish is -135. I know it's still chalky, but if the fight's going the distance, you don't like Grant Dawson anymore. So I'd rather have
agreed.
Yeah, it's quite simple.
Listen, I wouldn't say he has no decision win equity. I just don't feel as confident. I don't feel -400 about it.
I don't feel like Bobby fights back for 5 rounds.
Well, I should say, if it goes to a decision, I don't feel good because I feel like Dawson should be finishing. But in the same sense, I don't think a Bobby decision is that live in that same sense. So
yeah, I feel like it's just fight doesn't go is the vibe that I'm kind of, and the under 4.5 at -210 is kind of the vibe Vegas is getting to. So yeah, I think we broke down the hell out of that fight. But listen, I'm a happy guy. I got Grant Dawson in my parlay like -310. When I took it basically at last Saturday where we had fights, I threw together a 3-legger. So we'll get to the rest of the pieces and we'll see if you guys feel like it's as sketchy as I do. There's a reason I don't have more on it. So here we go. Our next fight. OMG. We got Joe Pyfer versus Judo Razak Al Hassan. Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Man, good fight here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's not Joe Pyfer. It's Body Bags with a Z. Even cooler. Gotta love Joe Pyfer. But coming to what out of Marquez MMA, we got Joe Pyfer is just an absolutely gigantic favorite. Minus 410, the exact same line as Grant Dawson. Plus 320 coming back on the Abdul Razak Al Hassan side. And I get it. Al Hassan, his recent success has come against guys where, um, I mean, Claudio Ribeiro, I picked Al Hassan in that fight. I picked him easy. De Chirico, same type of idea. Uh, but yeah, once you get guys that have like a well-rounded game plan, or someone that has the wherewithal to be able to put him out early, yeah, the Chaos Williams, the Jacob Malkoon, the Joaquin Buckley. I mean, the Joaquin Buckley fight was actually kind of close though, so that's another conversation to be had.
Yeah.
But Joe Pyfer here, I feel like him having the height, the reach, the youth, being in the right weight class. I know Al Hassan's cardio and has looked a little better since going up to 185, but yeah, I really think that Joe Pyfer's not even going to let us get to that point. And quite frankly, if you're betting Al Hassan and you're picking Al Hassan and you're doing anything but playing the round one knockout at like plus 1,000, you're doing it wrong. Maybe you want to do round one, round two.
I was gonna say to chime in real quick. Is it plus 1,000 though?
So that was
I
what
saw DraftKings had 7-1. That's why I
Damn.
just noticed that earlier. So
So I saw someone played it on like a bet online type of odds
FanDuel
earlier in
has
the
it
week.
at not plus 950.
Okay, so FanDuel's got us.
all right,
Look at that.
fair enough. There you go. All right.
So that's kind of the only way. Like, if you have money on Joe Pyfer in this fight, like just do the right thing and hedge out with that round one. It's like if you had Malkoon last week, you should have done the right thing and hedged out with the round one at like plus 1,800. It's a similar type of idea because it's only going to be a meme or one shot type of deal for Al Hassan here. He's not going to be the minute winner against a guy in Joe Pyfer that, I mean, he's training out a gym in Marquez MMA that's on the way up. And two, they train in a smart way. I see them with like heart rate monitors on. They're doing like real good things about like monitoring their elite athletes' level of conditioning. And they're doing the right thing from a technical perspective in the gym. I got Joe Pyfer here. He's the second leg of the parlay with Grant Dawson. If you want to be sketchy, Vegas has them both at the same line. They think they're both going to win. Any other thoughts, Guru?
Yeah, I really do have some other thoughts. It's actually funny. 19 minutes ago, Coach Eric Nixick tweeted, "I really enjoy watching Coach John Marquez and all of those killers he's producing out of Philly. I think in a year or two, we'll be speaking about the rise of his gym, similar to the rise we saw at CKB and Coach Eugene Behrman." That's one of the best in the game, reading, the tea leaves. And I 100% agree. Joe Pyfer looks unbelievable right now. And sure, they're giving him the right matchups, but bro, they're giving him the right matchups. And this is another really good matchup for him. Last fight, yeah, you mentioned TB that we were on Abdul Razak Al Hassan over Claudio Ribeiro. And the big reason for that wasn't just the knockout power, but it was Razak Al Hassan's grappling advantage over Claudio Ribeiro, that he was going to use takedowns. And sure, he didn't land any, but he had 3 minutes of control time anyway, because that's where he was going to look to tire out Ribeiro. And that's exactly what happened. This fight, he does not have that option. Joe Pyfer is the far superior grappler and wrestler. So for any reason he doesn't like what he's seeing on the feet, he's going to push him up against the cage and do that. And still, Joe Pyfer has the power. Same to Al Hassan, maybe a little less, but still enough to put you to sleep. But the chin and durability is by far with Pyfer. So I'm happy to lay it here. We got in and on it early, TB. I believe, what was it, minus 334? I believe we got him and Grant Dawson at the same line early last week. It was, yes, minus 334. I have the ticket right here.
So I feel a lot better about that than I do the minus 410, obviously. But even so, I mean, I gave you the perfect hedging piece. Like, Danny, what do you think in this spot?
It is the perfect hedging piece, by the way.
I got a contrarian take here. And not that I'm betting Al Hassan, but like, I would say Guru's point there, I wouldn't say there's like a definitive, like, oh my God, Pyfer has better durability.
That's fair.
That
That's
hasn't
fair.
really shown that to me. In terms of the wrestling, has he shown it to me extended against anybody good, or really at all for that matter? I think this is probably just a swinging match early. And so, like, I would, not that I would prefer laying minus 200 to the under 1.5, but I feel like if I was laying big chalk in this fight, I think I would prefer violence, if anything. But I don't know. I think just a lot of the hype around Pyfer is why this line is what it is. I mean, and Razak being 38, I believe.
Yeah, 38.
So I think it's an interesting one. I definitely, I'll be honest with you guys. I would not be parlaying Joe Pyfer. That's just me.
That's fair. And listen,
But
like
fair
I
enough.
said, there's a reason why I don't have more on it. There's something to get ahead of, get a little CLV to get a trophy for the boys. But like I'm saying, like now I'm not like.
Well, so how about this? Not to talk about the money lines though. But so do you think it's more likely a KO, or do you think that he's using wrestling and finding a sub?
So interestingly enough, I mean, the majority of his wins are by knockout. He's
Right,
got
and that's
8-2.
and that's where I'm guessing by both of your guys' analysis, you think he probably does find a knockout.
I would say, if anything, yeah, I think he at least hurts him, and whether that leads to a knockout or a grappling exchange, because Al Hassan loves to just kind of cover up when the pressure's getting put on him. So
yeah, listen, and I think if anything, it's just going to take some time, which still also won't. I don't think favors Al Hassan either per se. Right? I mean,
I don't know. I think their cardios are fairly comparable.
It's I think it's a fair point because the chinniness on Al Hassan could possibly be overstated in that he's really only been knocked out once.
Right. He looked fine against Buckley, who's a pretty decent hitter as well.
Yeah. I will say Buckley.
And on top of that, Buckley didn't have a ton of wrestling success holding Al Hassan down. Obviously much smaller than Joe, but
that's a good point. That really is a good point. And that's why I feel like there's so many sketchy spots on this week. But as a guy who took the Joe Pyfer moneyline parlay, I'm going to have the Al Hassan and maybe that FanDuel round 1, round 2 KO combo
yeah,
is the right way to go instead of just the round 1. But Joe Pyfer's knockout loss was from grappling and posting the wrong way.
Yeah, he broke his arm.
So I'm not so like worried about his chin per se, but I mean Al Hassan, like you don't have to have a chin problem to get knocked out by Al Hassan.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, and
so and to add real quick, the KO 1-2 is plus 650.
To get round 1 on DraftKings for plus 700, but get round 1, round 2 for plus 650 on FanDuel. That's why you got to have multiple outs, as Guru is always telling me.
Yes.
All right, thank you, boys.
Multiple outs, very, very important.
Really appreciate the breakdown on that fight. Good stuff. Also, really appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys are going crazy out there. Shady.
Stand up for the people in the chat who are all with Al Hassan, like Daz.
Yeah. This is big. Yeah, Daz has got him. Shady. Mushroom, I don't know what you got, but you're telling people to smash the like, so I appreciate the hell out of that. Zach from 4 Ounce to Freedom. Joey has increased his time, whatever. Yeah. There you go. Take it for what it's worth. I appreciate that. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like Pyfer, if anything, he's just like the big muscly guy, like just gonna drag you down. Like he's not a big BJJ savant type of thing. Like he just has to he would have to absolutely have a huge grappling edge, I feel like, to showcase it in that aspect. But I think he's just more of a ground and pound kind of guy.
What if there was somehow value on the over 1.5 at plus 165?
There is.
I'm talking myself into something crazy.
The last fight and this fight?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
I absolutely think there is. That at plus
I was gonna say it starts round 2 is plus 118.
Damn,
that's what we want. I like that.
Clinch City in the first round. Oh,
I like that a lot.
I think we just found another good piece.
I like that a lot. So. Bookmark that, folks.
Bang bang.
People in the chat.
All right, so here we go. Next fight here as we double click. Oopsies. Are you going back? Am I going back? I'll do it. We double clicked. My bad. So Alex Morono, the great white, and not in like that way, like a shark way. Versus Joaquin Numanza Buckley. Listen, sometimes you got to clarify. Not in like a pillowcase. Come on, man. I mean,
how often do you feel the need to clarify that?
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I'm glad he did it.
Yeah, right. Thank you. So Mr. Shark Morono versus the Mansa Buckley. Morono coming in here as a decent dog. We're looking at plus 142 at the moment. It's been moving around, had to make sure. And minus 170 for Mr. Buckley. Morono's going to come in here. He's got like the height advantage by 1 inch, but Buckley has a 4 inch reach advantage. And I think Buckley is like the much faster guy. I will say the movement of Morono on the feet, his defense is pretty solid. I just don't trust him for 15 minutes in those exchanges. But I will say he does have kind of underrated power himself on the feet. And he does have good in and out movement that is like awkward, unorthodox. He can really bother people. This is one where I got a little money down on Morono at plus 140. And I have the option to hit the cash out. And I'm really, really struggling with this one here because I feel like on paper, the idea of Morono and like what he does, it feels good. And then I've just kind of seen like, short notice fight against Pons. He looks great early, and then by round 3, he's slowing down. Or the Chaos Williams fight where he just gets absolutely starched and run down early within the first minute. So there's 2 different ways I've seen Alex Morono's chin just not hold up. And I just keep on coming back to a flashback of a Joaquin Buckley closing the distance with like a swinging hook counter and just hurting Morono enough to, if he doesn't even just knock him out right away, just to ultimately change the fight. So I really think I'm going to be cashing out that Morono ticket. I just haven't done so yet. I think my official pick here is going to end up Buckley. I got the much better athlete with the reach advantage, with the speed and the power advantage. And he's kind of more willing to mix in offensive wrestling than Morono is, quite funny enough. Yeah, so the pick here is Buckley. I just don't think I'll have like recommended money on this fight to anybody. So I'll take a pass here. I'm going to pull that money off Morono the more I talk about it. What do you got, Guru?
Yeah, I'm not. I obviously, I mean, not obviously. I did happen to follow you or myself in taking the early shot at plus 140 on Alex Morono, and personally, I do kind of still feel good about that, and there's a reason. I just feel that Alex Morono is the more accurate striker. Like Joaquin Buckley spends like a little too much time like with the flair and the spins and the kind of the bullshit that he's doing, the big heavy swings and throwing himself into takedowns, which has helped him against certain opponents. But here versus Morono, I don't think that grappling him is what he's going to want to do because Morono absolutely could look for a sub. And Morono himself is, a fairly awkward striker to deal with. Joaquin Buckley having success versus who? Andre Fijalio. All of a sudden, we think he's a beast. Andre Fijalio is a literal walking punching bag. So, that doesn't really do much for me personally. And then, Chris Curtis fight. That's a tough fight. But, Chris is kind of like he's like a step or two up from maybe two, 3 steps up from Andre Fajalio, but still the same idea with this kind of closed guard and one-dimensional posing offensive threat. Loses to Nasruddin Imavov, who is a Russian sniper striker, had to struggle with the reach there. I just think the awkwardness of Morono and he's just tough, man. He was winning that Pons fight. He's take that fight on short notice. Pons digs it out of his soul one last time. A wounded animal. Maybe Morono's playing with his food too much. Maybe because again couldn't get that finish because of the early the taking the fight on short notice. You know what I'm saying? Finishes Tim Means, who obviously still has plenty left in the tank. He just showed you that. Semmelsberger hits like a truck. I would argue that Semmelsberger hits harder than Joaquin Buckley. Similar amount of knockdowns for sure. I don't know. Definitely really interesting. Despite Joaquin Buckley's amount of fights in the UFC, I still give the level of experience to Alex Morono fighting legends like, Anthony Pettis and Donald Cerrone. So I'm going with Morono. I'm not cashing out my dog ticket. I especially like the value, but I don't hate anybody taking a shot on Joaquin Buckley. And I really like the alternate over in this fight. DraftKings is giving us that option at over 1.5 at like minus 145. I think that's money. What do you think, Danny?
A lot to think about on this fight, actually. So first, I'll talk about the Semmelsberger win that you were just talking about. And while I do think the power level's comparable, Semmelsberger's just a guy who's just going to stand in front of you and throw down. Buckley's going to be that in and out, land a couple strikes, get out, land some kicks, in and out. I think his awkward footwork actually is going to cause Morono more issues here. And yeah, so I agree with TB here that I think the speed, the power on the feet for Buckley is probably going to win him, and I think he does actually probably find a knockout in this fight. But I think an interesting thing to look at, and what I was bringing up on our show, is you go back and look at Morono's just UFC resume and look at the athletes he's fought, or lack thereof, I should say. Last fight, Tim Means, Ponzinibbio, decent athlete, but definitely aged. Semmelsberger, again, decent athlete on the age side as well, 35. Mickey Gall, not much of an athlete. David Zawada, not much of an athlete. Donald Cerrone, when he fought him, not much of an athlete. Anthony Pettis, again, decent athlete. We could definitely agree he was past his prime there. And Chaos Williams, absolutely starched him. Probably the biggest athlete that he has faced, I would argue.
Yeah, it's an interesting point as well. The absolute physical specimen that is Joaquin Buckley.
He is. And then the last thing to add there is, so a couple of days ago, I would have played Buckley at minus 150. I saw the line trending down because everybody was playing Morono, but then it's kind of gone towards the other way. So it's kind of a pass for now, unless the line does end up coming back.
TV, you muted. If you're talking. I don't know if you're talking, TV, but nobody heard you. So I definitely agree with a lot of what you're saying. I kind of am happy again where I'm at in my position of the early line movement and an ability to cash out. I really want to see face-offs. I want to see how much bigger, thicker Buckley looks and that kind of thing as well. But you definitely give me a lot to think about there, Dan.
And then the last thing to add, too, because I know they have these lines up as well. So if you like the Morono side, I mean, the plus 3.5 is plus 105.
Yeah, I like that a lot because I would expect that he could at least win a round anyway. That's actually
stay alive, and similar-ish to the money line that you got. Yep. I should say the plus 140. Yep.
Yeah. Do you like the over 1.5 idea, or do you think Buckley really could nuke him early?
That's just a tough one though, because I've never thought Morono's defense was great. Like it was weird. I was thinking as soon as we were leaving our show, I was thinking, I'm like, Morono, in a sense, not that I'm trying to at all compare him to Sean Strickland, but like he has that sparring, like he's going in there, he's just throwing strikes, but his defense isn't the best. He's not like he's not rolling with punches a lot. He's there to get hit a ton. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
I'm certainly excited to see it. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
TB, are you talking? Because nobody can hear you.
I know. I think he was trying to talk before, and I saw him trying to talk.
Are you unplugged again?
So I was checking my mic.
Now you're back.
Yeah, so I just my mic. I think my mic just might have went potentially. So we're gonna rock like this. We're going raw dog, Brandon Royval style.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Jeez.
But wanted to say shout out, couple new old friends hopping in the chat that haven't been here yet today. Appreciate Mr. James Kendrick from the Dan Tom's Protect Your Neck chat. Appreciate you, man. I know you're a recent new subscriber. Appreciate you coming on back. And Mr. Ghost Phantom, make sure you guys are following him. He gives out some awesome video and photo breakdowns, very technical. Worked with Zhang Wei Li in her champ camp. Really appreciate you guys. And Daz appreciating the TB weekly disaster from a technical perspective. So It's a part of the show. We like to have fun. So yeah, here we go. We got our next fight. We got the Crimson Chin, Drew Dober versus Ricky the Gladiator Glenn. And
Is he still the
man,
Crimson Chin?
is he, or is he
Is
he Jay Leno now? Is it like the aged version of the Crimson Chin? Yeah, it's been cracked. It's official. Drew Dober has. What is it? The king has fallen, or what are they?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, so Drew Dober here, the big story, was a huge favorite against Matt Frivola in his last matchup. And, we got to witness that fight in person, and I got to cash a nice fat dog ticket on Matt Frivola. So, and then got to
cash
chance.
Nice violence bet there.
There you go. See, you're a smart man. You're a man of principle. And listen, I mean, this is not the steamroller coming back the other way. In fact, this is one of the guys that couldn't withstand the early onslaught of the one and only Christos Giagos. So the way I'll put it is, listen, I know Drew Dober has given up, 4 inches of height here. He's giving up absolutely nothing in reach. He's got all the juice here. He's the third leg of the sketchiest parlay you could ever put together. Joe Piper, Grant Dawson, and Drew Dober. I got a few units on it, probably one too many, but we'll let it ride. It'll be a fun time. I'm sure my balls will shrink into my chest at some point in those 3 fights, but let's have some fun, right? I mean, it's a sketchy card, and we got to have some bets out there. So, Drew Dober, bring us home. Give me like a round 1 knockout. If Christos Giagos can do it, I trust you can too. And like Matt Frivola, like the run of knockouts this guy has been on, like I'm not even going to hate Drew too much for it. It's not like he went fully out. He got knocked down. He tried to get back up again.
Bro, he went into the shadow realm. He was done.
No, like I think it was. I'm not saying it was a bad stoppage. I didn't say that. But what I said was he never went
wasn't like
fully
out. He wasn't like
Yeah.
out.
No,
That's all
no. He wasn't sleeping.
I mean, he was on his way.
Yes.
He was on his way.
Yes, for sure. It was a tough knockout.
Dude,
Drew Dubers.
The Dubster. I would have liked
the Dubster.
Hey, if you guys got good TV nicknames, I'm down for recommendations. And Guru hates it. So if there's any better,
so is this? I was gonna say. So is this Drew Duber versus Ricky Glenajuana?
Oh, baby, yes.
I could probably get a better nickname for that. I would probably get a better nickname, but that was off real quick.
It's all right. You got time. Guru, give me your breakdown. Danny, you come back with a better nickname.
Oh my
Here we
goodness.
go.
No pressure.
pressure.
Listen, Drew Dober's was a sizable favorite versus Matt Frivola. Obviously a mistake. That fight should have at least been pick'em, right? That's going to be crazy. I honestly think Frivola deserved to be the favorite. And you look at you look at who he's fought, and it's just a way higher level of competition, especially lately. Not sure where Ricky Glenn is in his career, right? I had picked him versus Christos Giagos. I'd kind of expected him to outlast Christos Giagos because that's all you have to do, and that he would be okay. But instead, the MMA gods took it from him, and he gets knocked out with a left hook to the temple. A minute into his fight, very similar to the way that he came back from his long layoff and knocked out Joaquim Silva and showed that apparently he still had something left in the tank. I don't know, kind of got lucky. And then, like we kind of already talked about, Grant Dawson tired himself out, maybe had a bad weight cut, and Ricky Glenn has the third round of his life, comes back to pummel Grant. So tough there. I just don't really see where Ricky Glenn has any sort of threat to Drew Dober that Drew hasn't already faced in Matt Frivola, Bobby Green, Rafael Alves, Terrence McKinney, Brad Riddell, even Alex Hernandez, Nazar. I mean, this is a major step down, is I guess what my point is. So I expect Drew Dober to be fine here, and I do expect him to find a finish eventually. So Drew should be fairly safe here. So handsome Squidward for the win. What do you think there, Danny?
It definitely is a major step down. Just for me, it's just I should say I'm having pause seeing him as a massive favorite after seeing him just get knocked out in fashion that he did, even though this is that massive step down. Dober's much more faster, straight shots right down the pipe, much more powerful on the feet too. Again, I do think he probably finds a knockout, but just how you're going to play. I mean, how you would play that other than just the knockout straight. But I don't think -165, -175 on Dober KO is good. I think this is a pass personally. I think if you're doing, this is what we talked about on our show. I think if you're doing anything on this fight, you're fading a Dober KO essentially. So I think the over 1.5 is -110. And then obviously Dober KO is -165. So you could obviously take the not KO, not ITD.
Dude, you're right. I think you're right there. I'm sorry. I think you hit a light bulb in my head. Why not go for like the club and sub, baby? How about the sub? Dober has 9 subs, and Glenn's already been subbed twice. What's the price on the sub? The price is.
I'll look on FanDuel at least. Let's see.
Drew Dober DraftKings sub is plus 1,000. That's ridiculous. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I won't do it again, but
you're good. And he's 1,000 on FanDuel too.
So you literally hit the light bulb in my head with that.
Wow.
There's some value there.
And then if we think it's a little later sub, maybe we're thinking that the round 2-3 sub combo is 27 to 1.
Oh, wow. I mean, this is one of those ideas. So we have a buddy who
Grandma's
into
couch cushions.
lines. Oh my God, Danny took us there.
Oh,
so wait, is the mic working?
Baby.
Yeah, it's
Fan
working.
of
Yeah,
ours.
it's working again.
I got it.
Now it's working again. Yeah.
We're back. I got the mic working again. Let's go. Yeah, no, Grandma's couch cushions. Danny knew the assignment today. I love it. And does it get any better than that? I mean, come on. We have a buddy who likes like following lines and stuff, and he was saying like plus 1,000 has been kind of one of those ones that's hit a few times for him. If you could find something like that on DraftKings, so just saying, like that plus 1,000 guru, I mean, could be an idea. Oh man, okay, so I want to put out a disclaimer for this next fight. These are not TB nicknames. I would never put out nicknames as bad as this. We have Alexander the Great Ape Hernandez and Bill Senor Perfecto Algeo. I don't like what we did here, gentlemen.
And on top of that, real quick, another disclaimer: this fight's not at lightweight, boys.
Oh my God, I think I did it again. I think I have every fight from here on out at lightweight.
No, you don't.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you really? Did you?
Yeah, I think
go down.
100.
Let's
go.
Let's see it. Scroll.
Bam.
You
bam,
are the
bam,
worst.
bam. So I want to tell you guys. I want you all to just understand one thing for me. One thing.
Lightweight. Go back to that one.
Yeah.
So go back to the Kuda Lava limbs. Lightweight.
Lightweight. So
he's just calling them out for drinking competitions.
Yes.
That's it. The rest of the card, I can take all these guys. Come on.
Thank you.
Or maybe in another competition, Crown of Combat.
Oh God.
But so all right, as we get into all the wrong matchup. Listen, I'm a hardworking guy. He's back in school. He's working full time, and he's still doing the Crown of Combat podcast. So just respect the process and the fact that Guru won't even fact check my shit for me. All right. Anyways, rant over. The Great Ape versus Senor Far From Perfecto. Who am I talking about? We got Hernandez is the dog here at plus 114. Algeo minus 135. I'm having such a tough time with this fight. Alexander Hernandez.
It's giving you what?
It's giving me agita.
There it is.
Alexander Hernandez. Let me tell you something about this guy. I don't think it's necessarily a cardio thing as much as it's a willpower thing. Like once he just starts facing real opposition, he finds a way to give in. There's been like a couple times where his cardio didn't look great, but I don't think Bill Algeo is the guy to take him to that place. I'm sorry. Who has Bill Algeo ever landed 100 strikes on in his career? Can you tell me? Because in losing efforts, Billy Q's landed over 150 strikes. So I don't think that Bill Algeo has the pace or the power or anything like that to break a guy like Alexander Hernandez. So that's what's giving me agita here. Because I think Alexander Hernandez can't finish Algeo, and I think Algeo can't make Hernandez quit.
Why not?
Well, because he's not fucking Herbert Burns or what was the other fantastic win that our boy got here? What was it?
TJ Brown?
Yeah, it's downtown TJ Brown.
In a fight he was getting dominated.
Yes. So, okay, listen. I have this crazy theory that Alexander Hernandez hits a lot harder than downtown TJ Brown, who in his last
Everybody
fight.
does.
Of course
Definitely.
that's
All right.
fair.
So I'm not even saying that like I'm like Alexander Hernandez gets the round 1 knockout or anything like that, because I'm not sure you can finish Bill Algeo. But the moral of the story is, can you hurt him enough to make him lose at least 2 of the rounds before you gas out and put on your disappointment?
Not
I
at
think
featherweight.
Hernandez could.
Not at
But,
featherweight.
why
dude,
not?
because
Like, is
Algio's
Algeo just
actually,
not just a step below this
dude,
guy?
no, I don't think so. Algio's,
Ajita.
I think Algio's a good fighter. He's one of those junkyard dog, Chepe Mariscal type fighters that he's just you have to kill him. You really have to put him out. Was Alexander Hernandez not beating the shit out of Billy Q, winning that first round until he's not anymore? That's what this guy does. He's gonna fall off a cliff. And Bill Algeo has a rubber chin. Like, he just doesn't go down. So, yeah, I mean, when I'm rewatching the TJ Brown fight, he's getting hit way more than I would like him to. But I also think
In every
that's because
fight.
and that's also that too. But I also think it's because he didn't really want to go to the Brown. He didn't want to go to the ground yet with TJ Brown. And if you look at all of Bill Algeo's fights, every single one of his losses, the fighter had to start wrestling with him and wrestling with him a lot. Ricardo Ramos took him down a lot. Spike Carlisle tried to. Ricardo Ramos did. Andre Feely, that fight's 1-1, right? Going into the third round, and he has to backpack him for the whole round. Alexander Hernandez doesn't have the cardio to do that. And when he starts wrestling vis-a-vis Billy Q fight, his first fight at 145, as soon as he starts grappling, he gets tired. And that's when Bill Algeo is going to start hitting him to the body and spinning around. And Alexander Hernandez is a quitter. Bill Algeo isn't. And just for that reason, I feel good taking Bill Algeo. Do I want to lay my life savings on it? No, but at like minus 145, I'm not exactly off put. So I like Bill Algeo just kind of over 1.5, because that's basically when Hernandez is going to break. And you can do anything you want as long as you hedge with Hernandez round 1. Because I just don't think he's worth anything after that. If he wins a decision, you'd have to think that he not only hurts Bill Algeo, but compromises him, like broken arm, like broken hand, like he's just not fighting anymore, because he's still going to look to grapple. And I just don't know that Hernandez is going to be there to answer the bell. I just don't trust him to either. Certainly not with my money, and not at a favorite tag. So that's why
he's at a dog.
That's why I understand the dog shot. So Algeo minus 145 is fine, and I don't hate anybody taking Hernandez, especially if they got in on it early when the line was a little bit wider. What do you think, Danny?
I'm with TB here. I think Hernandez absolutely is a live dog here. I think a lot of people in general, everybody in the community is pretty much just saying that this is the Billy Quarantillo fight again. Oh, we've seen this fight before. We've seen this fight before. Similar to kind of what you're alluding to. Not to group you in that, but just in general.
No, that's fair.
But to me, Billy Q, another level of volume. His pressure is actually in your face nonstop from the go, where Bill Algeo is kind of fine just playing on the outside, really. He has a high volume, has a high pace, he has good cardio, but he's not in your face pressuring you like that. He defends strikes at 46%. Hernandez defends strikes at 56%. Algeo doesn't defend takedowns well at all. Hernandez can get takedowns here, but even to your point, alluding to if he's just going to keep wrestling, I honestly don't think he even needs to wrestle. If he stands and strikes here, I think he's going to land the harder shots. I think he's more defensively sound, like I just alluded to. And so, yeah, I don't think he brings that kind of pace, that pressure that makes Hernandez quit and wilt like we've seen in the past. So, and TB touched on the wins a little bit. I'm going to go a little farther. Herbert Burns, the TJ Brown win, Jordan Brito, another kind of a gas bag in general. Spike Carlisle, huge gas bag. I don't know. I don't see a lot from Bill. I don't think he has a lot. I don't think he has any UFC wins where you could argue Hernandez has plenty.
No, I think his best win is really the Joe Anderson Brito fight, right? Which still came on. Brito, didn't he take that fight on short notice? And he tried coming in and grappling, and was
Yeah.
got tired
Yeah.
But
instead of
still
trying to
controlled him. I was
smash
to
him.
say, but I had to look the numbers up real quick. He's still, because I remember it was a large amount of time. He still controlled him for 5 minutes though. I gassed
Yeah.
out Brito. So I don't know. I think this is Hernandez.
Well, no, I'm saying the control time is what Brito got when he was not gassed, and then when he gassed out, he was done.
Yeah.
Then
Fair.
he was tired after the grappling, and then Bill took over. But
don't you think he gasses? Do you think he gasses worse than Hernandez? Because I think he does. I think
You
the
think Bill
Hernandez,
gassed
the Hernandez, Brito does. I think the
Oh,
Hernandez
yeah.
gassing is more just people bringing that pace, that pressure, not a bad gas tank in general.
Yeah, if he's allowed to fight his fight like Thiago Moises, like he doesn't death gas because Moises likes fighting
Right.
on the back foot and just, like having a sparring match essentially.
That's
That's why Hernandez even thought he won.
It's
Right,
just,
and even in that kind of a fight, though, I think Moises is a decent striker. Like if Moises fought Algio, I think Moises would be fine in the striking department.
Yeah, definitely. But
I
you
just
don't
feel-
like Algio's 46% striking defense?
Yeah, no, I don't. There's nothing to love about that.
The only thing I just don't love. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just feel like it's the tale of two fighters in that you look at his losses, Hernandez, and your guys' point, it's higher level of competition in Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, Renato Moicano, and Billy Q. But his wins are Trinaldo, Grootsmacher,
OAM.
Breeden.
OAM.
No, come on. No, we're not talking about OAM.
Talk about
Why
OAM.
not?
He beat OAM.
Why
He
aren't we
wrestled
talking
OAM
about
for
it?
3
Because
rounds.
we're not
What are you
bringing up
talking about?
OAM and
Because
Benil
he's a
Dariush
wrestler.
in 2018.
You brought up Trinaldo. That was a split. That was an ugly, gross split. Yeah.
It was it was actually unanimous for.
That's
Trinaldo.
like a
Was
Mr.
it really?
Krabs meme on
Yeah.
Guru. Oh no.
No, because anyway, I'm taking anything after because before that he got knocked out by Donald Cerrone. So I'm not going to bring up the knockout to Donald Cerrone. If Oben Mercier fought him now, he'd absolutely smash him. So Benil Dariush, I think he'd smash. Like, we're not bringing up those wins. I just think they're both.
He did. How about
really
this though?
good.
Dober though, even though in a loss to Dober and he got KO'd 4 minutes into the second round, he was having good success and won the first round.
Right, because Dober gave him a chance with the brawling.
That's how he always fights.
Right,
and Dober hits way harder. Attritional work way harder.
I agree. That's true. It's also
much more
at
physical.
lightweight and not another 10 pounds of cut. I think,
and that was the last thing I was going to add. Him
Yeah.
at featherweight is kind of the only thing giving me pause here.
And he's in great shape. He made the cut pretty fine versus Billy. He just looked really skinny and unhappy. And he says remember he said post fight like his dick didn't work.
Did you see the video? I was going to say, did you guys see the video? There was already a video this week. I think Alex Behunin asked him a question about it. He's like, is your dick working? And he's like, yeah, it's working fine in camp.
It hasn't gotten to the worst part of the cut yet. All right.
Yeah.
Was he training that with his sparring partners? Like, how would he know?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Questions Guru needs to know the answer to. While we're doing that, I think we've reached the point where there's more of you guys in the live show. So I'm going to call you all out that have actually liked the video so far. Do the right thing. It really doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out so much. Throw a like on the video. Also, Mr. Danny Lags, if you're not following him on Twitter, if you're not following the Club and Sub podcast, you're royally messing up. And yeah, me and Guru, we're out there too, baby. Make sure you're following the whole deal. Moving right along.
Oh,
and I did a crazy thing. Yes.
And then I know you already. Oh, you changed them already.
I did.
That. And then
I'm a monster. I went for it.
So Guru was talking about the over 1.5 for that last fight. It's not even like playable. It's minus 275.
Oh, that's gross.
So
fair enough.
Yeah,
all right.
That's all right.
So that's fair. All right. We got the one that this is feeling like one of those fights here. It gets the people going. You got Monstro.
Going to get smoke, I guess.
That's it. Well, you'll have plenty of time when this fight ends in like the first round to go and get a smoke or whatever you need for the 15-20 minutes of filler content ESPN gives us. Felipe Lincier, Monstro versus the Hulk. Iwan Kudelaba, probably the most aggressive nipples I've ever seen on anyone. Like you could, look at them in the picture. They can chisel diamonds. And then when
What
he
is
gets on the
wrong
scale
with
and he's
you?
like weight cutting, dude, it's scary. It's scary. You don't see people like that generally. Anyways, Felipe Lins, he's gonna have a pretty sizable size advantage here. Not just the 1 inch height and the 3 inches of reach, but I think he's just a wider dude. He's successfully fought at heavyweight before. I think Kude Laba is one of those guys that you could even almost envision him getting to middleweight if he wasn't so jacked. But yeah, I think Kude Laba does well when he's able to execute his offensive wrestling and really just dominate his opponents, find an early finish, face a guy like Devin Clark that needs his dad to yell at him to fight, to stay in a fight. He could do great in those types of situations. It's just he has bad tendencies, whether it's leaving his neck out like a turtle, as he's shooting for takedowns, or it's, kind of getting too aggressive on the front foot and letting guys just, the Magomed Ankalaev approach or the Glover Teixeira, just turning the tables and wearing him down at his own medicine. I think Felipe Lins is going to have multiple paths to get to that spot. I think he'll be successful in even stuffing the takedowns to Kude Laba. And if he doesn't, I know he's got that jiu-jitsu black belt on his resume. So I'm trusting that with his 4 submission wins, the jiu-jitsu on his resume, but not someone that we've seen like really use it offensively. I have an idea that he's kind of one of those guys that uses his defensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu to make sure he can stay on the feet and bang. I think that's what he's going to do here. He was kind of tentative in the Arlovsky fight, dealing with the southpaw, dealing with the leg kicks and the low output and the size of Arlovsky. Kude Laba is smaller and he brings the fight to you, and I think Lins is going to have a great time with that. Tanner Boser, that's kind of the one fight that gives me pause here and lets me know that like an early finish is definitely possible for Kude Laba. But at the same time, I think Tanner Boser is a lot more technical and had a lot better timing on his counter striking. And that he kind of caught Lins with a strike he didn't see coming. I think Kude Laba, everything he does, Lins is going to see coming because he doesn't really like mask his offense well. And that's where I got Lins here. He's the dog. I got a nice solid 2-unit shot on him that I still feel good about. If he's still dog money, which he is, go ahead. You can still get in on it, and I feel good about it. Guru, what are you thinking, man?
I'm not sure how Ion Cutelaba, who's only won 3 of his last 9 fights, is favored here. It's just Lins is somebody that hits really hard, even though he didn't necessarily finish Grishin, or Prakhniao, but he's somebody that honestly, again, like throws with a fair amount of bad intentions. And Ion Cutelaba is somebody that is just continually getting finished, and finds ways to lose fights. Johnny Walker fight, Kennedy and Zetriku fight. I mean, these fights are hysterical to watch, and it's not good. The Ryan Spann fight, he throws himself out of position and gets choked out for I mean, it's so bad. He snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. He's the fighter you love to play at plus money and the fighter you have to stay away from when he's a favorite. I just don't trust him. And again, of his 3 wins in his last 9 fights, only 2 of them are by knockout. He's still got a decision in there. I don't know that you're decisionating Felipe Lins. Lins is going to be bigger, strong, right, and stronger, and he's going to be able to push him up against the cage if he needs to.
Bigger,
So,
faster, better, stronger.
yeah, I mean, he's going to be taller and bigger and longer and faster and stronger. So,
That'll kill me.
and he's going to be able to rap with Kanye West, and it's going to be awesome. I like Felipe Lins here, especially at a dog price. Felipe Lins by finish is like plus 215 on DraftKings, so why not? Not to get too crazy when you're already getting plus money. I got him at plus 130, I believe. So, what do you like, Danny?
I think this fight's interesting. I think you could make like compelling arguments for both sides because Cutelaba, on one hand, I feel like he is that fast guy, can definitely knock out Lins in the first round. Lins pretty slow. He's pretty old himself. I believe he's 39, if I'm not mistaken. 38, 39. But
Yep. 38.
I like Kudalaba, like his path to victory, bombing guys out early, like that's on the table here. But on the flip side with Lins, I mean, he absolutely could stuff those takedowns. He could survive that early storm and just end up finishing Kudalaba later in the fight, because Kudalaba's only ever won that one fight against Devin Clark. Outside of that, this guy's not winning round twos. He's not winning round threes. So, yeah, I don't hate the dog shots here.
I was also encouraged by the Lynn's late cardio and offensive clinch in wrestling that he used in his last fight to get the decision. And Grishin is decent.
Yeah. And he's pretty big himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know that Grishin. I mean, I don't know Grishin would be getting wrestled by Ian Kudalaba or knocked out by Kudalaba. Like I think that'd be a tough time for Kudalaba.
I could see Kudalaba getting him down maybe like real quick early, but he's not holding him down. No.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. We all align. I like that.
I like Lynn's here.
And then another one here too, again on the spread bet. If you like Lynn's, plus 3.5 plus 100.
Wow.
So
it is solid. The only thought is you're like facing the idea, like you obviously lose with the finish, but yeah, right. I can't see him not winning the third round if it's going to decision.
Yeah, but if you're betting him anyway, you lose with the finish. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Right.
Well, it's all plus money bet.
Any bet you bet, unless it's decision only.
Decision only.
You would lose
well, that would
if Kudalaba gets a finish.
Yeah. So hey, listen, maybe some of our fans don't understand what a minus 3.5.
I don't know. Do you understand what it means?
Yeah, because I just described something that was clearly obvious about it.
Because this isn't one of those long teasers I've been trying to get you into.
Yeah, I'm done with you, Wong. I'll tell you that. All right, we got Carolina Crybaby Kovalevich versus Diana Dracula Belbitsa. We got a great matchup here at strawweight. It doesn't get any better than this. Because she's Romanian.
But that's not her nickname.
She's the warrior princess, whatever. Nobody cares about that. Come on, who gives a shit about the warrior princess? Is that really
it's the warrior princess versus the titty princess here?
Oh, Jesus.
Nice. So I mean, honestly, I think that's a better nickname than the warrior princess.
Yeah, there you go. How about that? There you go.
All right. Wow, look at that. Guru's contributing. That's interesting. Lynn's don't need no
stick around. I might win a bet or two too.
Oh my god. Stay tuned. So anyways, Carolina here giving up a decent amount, like 4 inches height, 4 inches reach. I just think Diana's giving up
cup size or two.
Yeah. Diana's giving up all of the skills. Except for like all just the stand in the pocket, throw the 1-2, you know, it's like Carolina, like, man, I will say I've kind of liked her transition to using a bit more offensive wrestling against opponents that just can't deal with it. So I feel like she's coming in with like a pretty decent game plan now each time out, structured camp at ATT, working with some legends. It's just the idea of laying chalk on Carolina Kovalevich at minus 162. Did I talk about Ajita before? Because I'm getting it again. I guess as of now, I'm going to pick Kovalevich. Like the biggest thing though about Belbitsa though, that keeps me from laying any type of money on this is that she's aggressive. She'll come out, she'll throw stupid volume in the pocket. And unless Carolina's like successfully picking her off with counters, she might get out volume. It's potential. And then like off her back, Belbitsa's like kind of annoying. And being the taller, longer fighter, younger, she could just be annoying enough to not let Kovalevich just sit in guard, sit in top control. But I think she's the better grappler. So I don't know. I'm picking Kovalevich, but for the love of God.
Where did you see her be so annoying on bottom? Versus Maria Oliveira, who took her down twice and held her there?
Yeah, but she was being annoying as hell. Like Maria wasn't having.
She was held down by the Spider Girl.
God damn it! So like I said, I'm picking Carolina. God damn it! You want me to spend my money on this shit?
I do. I do want you to spend your money. I do. I want you to spend your money on this. I think Carolina Kovalevich is. I think they really like her, and this is another win for her because what makes this fight the toughest for Carolina is going to be the sheer size, right? Because Diana Belbitsa is, I have it right here. She is 4 inches bigger and 4 inches longer as well. But the thing is that Diane doesn't throw really straight punches at all. She's just kind of winging shit. And the problem with that is that Carolina has actually shown us, and you actually saw it versus Demo. She was not only willing to go first, but she actually looked good kind of moving in and out of range and countering. And then Diane is a 0 from her back. Not a problem. Not a nuisance. A 0 from her back. And she's going to get taken down. And when she does, Carolina's going to do nasty things to her there. Look at
Guru, I have a question. Are you projecting the things that you want Carolina Kovacevic to do to you? What she's gonna nasty things. Are you projecting?
I'm pretty sure that was Danny Legs, not me. All right, but listen. Look at. I'm gonna say one last thing, and then we'll hand it off. All right. Her wins against are Maria Oliveira and then Hannah Goldie. Right. She lost to Gloria Da Paula and Liana Jojua, who are no longer with the promotion. What does that tell you? I don't think anything good. And she lost to your best friend, Molly McCann. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Danny Legs.
So I do think KK's a side for sure, just because, I mean, talk about, for starters, on the Belbita's side, I mean, she's going 50-50 with low-level competition. It's night and day strength of schedule for Carolina. And to me, Carolina, I mean, this Belbita is this kind of low-level competition that Carolina has been winning, this 3-fight win streak. I mean, she fits right in there, really. But at the same time, like, this juice to me is kind of predicated on her grappling, because if she doesn't grapple, even though I do think she's the better striker, I think it's probably going to play out close if it just stays standing for 15. So I'm not trying to like have a -150 Carolina ticket in my pocket if she's not trying to grapple, but I do think the takedowns probably can come easy if, a girl like Maria Oliveira is taking you down, and she's shown a lot of offensive wrestling in her last few fights.
I like that.
I honestly think she's the better, more technical striker too.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I think Demopoulos probably is, and I don't think her striking is that good, but I think Demopoulos is probably a better striker than Belbita.
Yeah, at least even almost defensively, which again is like saying either sentence is laughable because she's not good at all.
Like, that would be a laughable fight, I think, but that'd be a fight that makes sense.
It actually would, and then maybe they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they booked that in the future.
Yeah, it's literally like a Maria Oliveira Demopoulos, kind of like how we already saw. I mean, it's just kind of the same shit.
Ooh. Yep, we love it.
Yep.
Gotta complete the triangle.
Yep.
What a triangle it would be. So we'll move on.
Talk about mayhem. We got Nate Mayhem Manus versus Mateusz Bocau Mendonça. Bocau translates to Big Mouth.
Just Kevin Holland.
That's it. So is he coming after Kevin Holland?
He might be. The Charles Kevin Holland?
That's it. I mean, he's got similar.
Funny,
or the Brazilian. I should say the Brazilian. Not
yes,
Charles,
yes.
The Brazilian. That's what I meant to say. I was thinking of Charles Oliveira real quick, and I said Brazilian.
That's okay. I got what you meant. That was good.
I actually totally knew what you meant, which is really funny.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, Brazilian Kevin Holland.
Don't worry. You're not like Alex Morono. Don't worry. So anyways, throwback. You got to rewind for that reference. We got Nate Mayhem Manus here. He's coming in, friend of the show, at a +205 dog. Big Mouth at -250. Mateusz Mendonça. I was impressed with the survivability of Mendonça against Javid Basharat. He tried to get his own offensive wrestling going at points. He seemed to be an athletic striker, He's like the creative fighter archetype is the shoot to box fighter, it's Lipe Detona. I don't know about Rolando Bedoya. I don't know, but it's all that shit.
Daniel Santos.
There you go, Daniel Santos. It's that same creative character. So the question here is, they're both cutting down a flyweight. Nate at least has done it before, and we saw what it looked like. It wasn't great from a weight cut perspective and a performance perspective. What I will say is at least been there and done that, and decided to go back for whatever it's worth. A lot of guys, after they have a failed cut down to 125 or wherever, that'll be it. They're back at their division. But I will say, I kind of am intrigued at the idea he's going back again here. And I think, once again, I mean, we got the guy with a 4-inch height advantage, a 1-inch reach advantage, and with all the experience. Now, generally, when you're talking about 8 years older, yeah, it concerns me when you're 40 years old versus a 32-year-old in their prime. In this spot where you got the 32-year-old grizzled vet versus the 24-year-old, just made their debut and had a quote-unquote impressive loss. Now he's minus 250. What the fuck are we doing? It's Nate Maness all day, baby. Let's go. And I might be stupid in retrospect because finishing round 1 looks dead at the weight cut. It is what it is. But, I had to do the thing here. It just makes sense to me, and it might be bad in retrospect. And maybe you get plus 500 after round 1 for the classic Nate Maness comeback. So maybe that's the route you want to take instead of betting it ahead. But just in case we get the round 1 KO, give me that Nate Maness plus 200.
No, I really don't think you're too far off, and here's why. I think they have Nate Maness and Mateus Mendoza have a very similar skill set. Like, they kind of both wing punches, are strong banger types that are willing to offensively grapple if they need to. Like, and definitely don't want to be defensively grappled. So I really think that they're actually very similar. I just kind of, like you said, I just kind of lean to Nate because A, the line is ridiculous, and B, he's made this cut before. I'm really interested to see what Mendoza looks like. And at plus 210, I took a shot on Nate Maness, and I feel pretty good about it. So we'll let it ride, and we'll see how it goes. Like you said, would it be insanely shocking if there's a finish on the other side? No, I mean, it's flyweights. At the same time, would it actually be that crazy if it is a decision? I actually wouldn't be that surprised either, because the guys are tough as nails. Nate Maness's finish to Taylor Lopoulos is crazy. Doesn't Lopoulos fight at a division up now? He fights at lightweight, doesn't he?
Yeah,
no, so he's a bantamweight.
No, he is okay.
No, he's a bantamweight. But yeah, the dude's big. So I give him credit for it. Nate's tough as nails. So let's give it a shot. What do you think?
I think you guys are on the right track. Like, I feel like this matchup in general is dog or pass. I feel like the line, if anything, is probably fine just because of the weight cut issues and the questions surrounding it. Because at least for me, like, obviously the performance was bad, but we didn't see a ton of striking exchanges to really say, oh, well, if he gets hit with a big shot, his durability is bad at 125. He just got grappled in that matchup. So, I mean, Mendonca, in general, he's pretty raw on the feet, pretty hittable. He'll throw pretty hard, has some wrestling upside. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the dog shot. I think the line's accurate, if anything.
Yeah, I feel like. Mm-hmm.
I was so unimpressed with Mendoza's fight to get into Dana White Contender Series. That decision fight, and it was in 2020, mind you, because he basically went 2 years off to get into Dana White Contender Series. He just doesn't have a ton of experience. And Nate, while he didn't look, like you said, like he didn't look great versus Tajir. I mean, we had him on the show right after the Umar loss, and it was basically he's like he wasn't gonna do that shit again. And I understood that. So like he took a chance and he made a mistake instead and got submitted. He's not facing a Dagestani grappler this time out. He's faced Tony Gravely and Johnny Munoz, who we're going to talk about later, is actually a good grappler. He's faced good grapplers. He can survive grappling. He just hasn't been able to survive Dagestani wrestling. So this guy doesn't have that. I really do like Nate.
Fair enough. We move right along. We got Vanessa Lil Monster Demopoulos versus Kanako Murata. Do we have an official nickname? No, it's.
Why didn't you come up with one?
I scrambled because I
You're
didn't look
busy
ahead of
now.
time.
You care about an official nickname? Why? Why
Well,
now do you care about an official nickname?
well, if they have one,
No,
I
you
tried
avoided
No,
that.
you call
That's bullshit.
Velveeta vampire.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's
That's bullshit.
God damn it! All right, Kanako, the Ninja Turtle Murata. All right, are we happy?
How about
She's
Kanaka,
very handsome.
Mortal Kombat?
Oh, Mortal Kombat. There we go. I like that. That's all right. Now,
Hey,
Danny's.
initials. Hey, her initials backwards.
That's really good. And you know
There
what?
you
With
go.
the Japanese fighter, could it be that that's actually supposed to be the way it is?
Maybe.
Have you
Or is
played
that
the new
only
Mortal
Chinese?
Kombat game though?
I have not.
No.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't
No.
either.
Fair
I was
enough.
hoping somebody would tell me.
Took a little
Nope.
steam out there. We thought we had some. But anyways, so little monster taking on very handsome. We got this one's at straw weight. We got it correct this time. But Vanessa, are you gonna make straw weight? I have a serious question for you. You were at like 135 as of a couple days ago, and you missed weight last time, or she looked horrible. It was one of the two. I think it was both. She looked horrible and she missed weight. But Kanako Murata, the last time she was out there, she took a gigantic step up in competition from Randa Marcos to Vina Jandiroba. And yeah, she got her arm ripped off, but she decided, hey, I'm going to fight through it for a round until I literally can't anymore. The thing that's the scary part about this matchup with Murata as like a minus 400 favorite right now is that the rip your arm off path is very much in play for Vanessa Demopoulos. And Murata is going to want to be in that realm. It's just I think Murata is a lot stronger, a lot better wrestler. And this isn't Vina Jandiroba level of jiu-jitsu. This is stripper guard level of jiu-jitsu. So,
yeah.
and like it's self-proclaimed also before you get all up in arms. Vanessa Demopoulos, I learned my lesson against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. If she was a good fighter, she would have won that fight. She's not a good fighter. She's a tough fighter. And there's a difference. I don't think her toughness and willingness to swing for an armbar at 115 is going to be enough to get Murata, who refused to tap to Vina Jandiroba's armbar attempt that ripped her elbow out of the socket. I just can't envision Demopoulos successfully getting to those places. No. Murata is like, if I wanted to add a fourth leg, which I didn't, to that sketchy parlay from earlier, that's the one. If not, though,
yes,
it's Murata by decision. She's not nobody. Come on, you're not finishing.
Did you read my mind? That's exactly what I was going to recommend. That's what I was going to say.
I really appreciate it, buddy.
I think she's fairly.
I feel like we're actually on the same page here. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Vanessa could somehow, maybe through her stripper dreams, pull out the submission. But I think Kanako Murata is really good. She's been training with who just fought 2 weeks ago? Mizuki. She's been training with Mizuki. So, and Mizuki looked good. They literally were together in their last training camp. Saw it on the IG. So Murata is going to be in good shape here. Vina Jandiroba is not Vanessa Demopoulos. She can't. Murata's.
I thought they were equally attractive.
I thought they were the same exact person. Her Murata's orbital bone was like swollen as shit because Vina just swings so hard and she's so jacked, and Vanessa is just not that level. So I do like Kanaka here, and she probably just gets a decision. She probably just decisionates her. Would be my thought. But hey, maybe she could even submit her. Get her own little submission. What do you think, Danny?
No, I think this probably goes the distance. I had to go offline real quick because my AirPods are dying on me a little bit after doing stream back to back here. But I think Murata with the wrestling advantage, it should be pretty easy. I think the line's perfectly fine. I think her by decision's good play.
Yeah, Vanessa's pretty tough, so I should be able to survive, but not something I want to invest heavily into.
Agreed.
TB, you're muted again, my friend. It's over for you, my friend.
Oops, I get it from Nah, that time I clicked mute and didn't unclick, so that's my own fault.
Lovely. You're amazing.
Not my mic. Yeah, so I don't like the under in this fight, unfortunately. But at that bigger plus money, if you do, I can't hate it. I'll pull a guru there. All right, we got Arichi Long, the Mongolian murderer. versus Johnny Kid Kvembo Munoz.
There you go.
Not bad, right? But I mean, Mongolian murder takes the cake here. So is he the murderer of Mongolian descent, or is he just straight up killing Mongolians out here? That's the real question from his nickname.
I think he's killing Mongolians.
No, I'm pretty sure he is Mongolian. But anyways, we will move along there. So
you damn Mongolians!
No, all right, take it easy. Not everyone knows the South Park references, but it's all good. I know what you're going for, but the Mongolian murderer of Mongolian descent, Arichi Long. When you watch him say his nickname, it's incredible. And then Johnny Kid Kvembo, I think his dad had the same nickname, or so. I still don't know what it means. Anywho, Johnny Munoz here. I mean, he clearly has a path to victory if he was like a high-level offensive wrestler. Yeah, I mean, it would be clear. Like, you get Arichi Long down, you get control time, potentially submit. I mean, the dude's got tons of submission losses. But lost my place. But yeah, 3 submission losses for Arichi Long. So if there was going to be a path to victory for Munoz here, it's totally clear. But there's also a completely clear path to victory for Arichi Long, and that's why we have this fight at a pick'em right now. I think Arichi Long hits harder on the feet, has much better boxing, and is generally just more comfortable in distance exchanges and throws better combinations. But Johnny Munoz, if he goes the grappling path, like one elite fighter, Jay Perrin, yeah, we could see Arichi Long just struggling from bottom. Similarly, has a tough fight against Cody Durden, has a tough fight against Jeff Molina for all the same reasons. So Arichi Long, the question is, down at 125, the chin didn't hold up as well in his matchup against Zahabi. But does his wrestling look better? Because I don't think Johnny Munoz is going to knock him out on the feet. So if he's able to wrestle a little bit better down at 125, which, oh wait, we saw the Jay Perrin fight, right? That was 135? Okay,
yeah. They're all 135. I don't know what you're
exactly. So
Zahabi was too. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, this fight's at 135 also.
They're all. He's never dropped down to 125. I don't.
Damn, I thought
maybe he did versus.
He did. Oh, that's what confused me here.
Durden. He hasn't fought since versus Durden, which was
Durden and Molina. Durden and Molina were both. Yeah.
All right. So
that's how we got to the show, I'm sure.
All right. I got a little confused. Nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to TV and doing.
It's all right. You're busy. You've been busy, man.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I'll throw you a bone, man. But
it's all right. It's all right. I said what's her face was an Olympic wrestler, so it happens.
Yeah. I got Arichi Long here.
I'm on the other side. I like Johnny Munoz here. I don't like what I've seen out of Arichi Long at all. Honestly, or Johnny Munoz, so I understand why it's a pick'em fight. And I think it's a fun fight to plant your flag in and have fun with. But like,
great fight to pick a side.
Right, but like, don't call anybody an asshole over it. And don't bet $1 million on it. But if you want to stick your side, stick your side now. And I'm going with mine. I like Johnny here. He doesn't have any heart or durability, but I'm really questioning the heart of and honestly the durability of Arichi Lang. Arichi Lang wins against Jay Perrin and Cameron Else are not good at all. Especially when you look at Jay Perrin taking him down and maintaining top control for a significant amount of time. Johnny's going to be able to do that. Okay, sure, he wasn't able to take down Daniel Santos, but like, so what? Like,
what about his wins though?
His wins against Ludwig Schlinian and Jamie Simmons are not ideal. But he also fought Tony Gravely, who's a good wrestler with power. Our boy Nate Maness, who's a dog, who we're actually thinking about. And again, Daniel Santos, whose jiu-jitsu is and who's better on the ground? Daniel Santos or Arichi Lang? It's not even
Arichi Long.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Arichi Long.
Arichi Long. Okay, Arichi Long, bro. You can reach along over there. You know what I mean? Like, I really think Arichi Long is not going to be able to stop these takedowns at all because Johnny Munoz has been facing a ton of resistance when he's fighting guys. And when he's not facing any resistance, he's getting wins. Jamie Simmons and Ludwig Solinian. He's going to face Arichi Long, and he's going to show a similar level of resistance that those guys are, and he's either going to get subbed or dominated because Arichi Long is not going to hurt him the way that Daniel Santos did. Daniel Willie Cat Santos is a savage. That dude's crazy. We know that, though. And Gravelly's a dog. So, and so his name Anus.
All right, we're at the same points recycled.
I've said it 6 times. I feel really good. I feel good about it. I actually feel really good about it. So I'm ready to go. Like, you want to go on a gauntlet about it, TB? Like, I want to bet something.
Let's
go. Let's fucking go.
Doing a shoey?
Yeah.
No. See, I feel like a shoey's played out.
Shoey's played out.
Right? What do we got to do here?
We're not a conformist.
Yeah.
Right.
We run the gauntlet around here. We'll do a shot. And then a rip, a bong rip or something, smoke or something.
There you go. I said,
what do you like?
I side with TB here. I'll be honest. I like Arichi Lang here because so first of all, I've never been a fan of Johnny Munoz just because I don't think his wrestling's good, and that's why I faded him with Tony Gravely. Obviously, that fight ended pretty quickly, but I think even if that fight would have played out, extended a little bit, I think Gravely has good enough takedown defense to stop those takedowns. And even on top of that, with Arichi Lang, I mean, we've seen Cody Durden and Jeff Molina. I mean, they're both pretty solid wrestlers, grapplers. I think probably both. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They are both better wrestlers than Johnny Munoz. But I think it is definitely a pick-em just because I think, in general, Arichi Lang's defensive grappling is a bit of a question mark. It's not great. It's not.
Perrin.
It's just average.
Perrin.
I know, and Jay's average too.
Is Johnny Munoz not average?
He's average, but I don't think his striking is good. His striking is not that good. He's gonna have some success with the
wrestling. He's a spam grappler. He wants to keep going with it.
He could. Did you bet him at plus money?
I don't even think I bet him. I got him. I think I just did pick him. I don't even know if I actually bet it. Did I even bet it?
I would say if you didn't get in on the plus money, I would. But I think it's a pick 'em. But it's up to you. If you like it, go for it.
Give me the better money on Richie.
He's
also Moneybags.
He's also too high. He's just all 2 inches taller and has a 2-inch reach advantage.
And then me and TB are gonna reach around for the money bag.
Yes.
No way. All right, you're doing a gauntlet then too. I trust you to do it on your own time.
All right, that's fair. We could do that.
All right, very well. All right, we're moving on here. The fight that the people just can't stop talking about. We got Montana De La Rosa, the failed couple prospect herself.
They're still dating, I think. Oh, you meant
no, like they tried the whole husband wife. We're gonna in the UFC. But unfortunately, Montana, I'm the better De La Rosa versus JJ Bag of Milk Aldrich.
Jesus,
does it get any worse from that? From a in shape perspective for a women's flyweight, it doesn't. Okay, it really doesn't. I think what really comes to show up in this matchup, yes, mid. I'll call it mid. All right, thank you, Cameron. We're in a mid matchup here, but
Montana is not mid at all. I'll die on that.
Yeah,
hill.
nah, she's got good like
Danny legs. I'm gonna send you a couple DMs in a little bit.
Jesus Christ, Danny's like, I do not need that contraband. All right. Well, anyways, the breakdown of this fight. Montana De La Rosa was a dog. We're about even money or so, just about everywhere now. Montana, relentless offensive wrestling, great cardio, pressure fighter. Improving striking, not going to say it's good, but she's doing better than she was. Like, she's eating less punches with her face and landing slightly more herself in combination. She throws leg kicks. She'll throw in combo. JJ Aldrich would probably win a striking, battle on the feet. I just don't think it's like, that distinctively per se. The volume is going to be just about similar. It's just JJ would probably land the cleaner strikes. It's just Montana De La Rosa is going to be in the clinch, changing levels, shooting a single, shooting a double, getting back to the clinch. She's going to be annoying as fuck. And JJ Aldrich taking this fight on short notice as someone that like got taken down three times by the Young Na with head and arm throws. Montana De La Rosa is going to take down JJ Aldrich. She's not going to go the route. Who was the fighter that we were like, oh my God, lock of the century versus JJ Aldrich, and then she stuffs like every single takedown? What was that? Jillian Robertson. Jillian Robertson. Jillian Robertson sucks at wrestling, okay?
She's not a good wrestler, yeah.
She's not. Montana is exactly what I thought we were getting from Jillian Robertson. Just she has less finishing potential, but she's going to give me the type of offensive wrestling game plan that I need. And even though I lost the plus money, whatever, I laid the even money. I don't care. I messed up, but this was one of those spots where it's just like, we're getting JJ Aldrich on short notice at even money because she just finished someone that has 3 minutes of like mid cardio in wrestling. And she barely finished her in the second round. Like, as unimpressive as a performance as you could have getting a finish because it's against Liang Na. And if you're not finishing her in the first 5 minutes, you messed up. It's really not impressive at that point. Montana,
she didn't finish her in the first 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not impressive. But people are acting like it is, making this an even money fight or even having her as the early favorite. It's stupid, okay? But what I think is smart is that the line's gone more towards the De La Rosa side. And I think De La Rosa, I think she could even wear her down and find a finish. Submission as the fight goes on. Plenty of submissions on record for Montana, the better De La Rosa. She's got 9 submission wins, and JJ Aldrich, she's got 3 submission losses. So if there's anything I'm looking for in this fight, it's JJ Aldrich gets taken down, gets mounted, but it's not like Na Liang going for a crazy, stupid armbar attempt and just like losing position entirely. Like Montana's going to look for more coordinated rear naked chokes, flattening out, going for a much better approach from a submission perspective. So that's like my sneaky prop of it might not be sneaky from like, do we even have a line on it? I don't see it.
I just find it, can I be honest?
All right, tell me, be honest.
I'll be very honest. I find it very interesting that obviously it's a different fight in some respects. To me, I think this fight is very similar to the last fight with Johnny Munoz and Oriki Long. So I feel like I'm on the grappler there. I'm on the grappler here. I'm on Montana De La Rosa to get it done against JJ because she's not going to stuff takedowns. I don't really see her doing too much damage on the feet, and she's going to have trouble. I'm on Johnny Munoz for the same exact reason. So my breakdown is basically the exact same. So I really like Montana here. I laid pick him. What do you think?
I will clap back a little bit though.
Clap back. Yeah, do it. Let's go, baby. Clap back. I like
clap
that.
back a little bit in the last matchup though. Arichi's actually has power and stopping power, whereas Aldrich, she has no finishing upside pretty much in any matchup when she's fighting a UFC caliber opponent. So I understand why people moved in on the De La Rosa side at plus money, but to me, again, this is another fight where I could see arguments for both sides because Aldrich historically, she's a better striker than De La Rosa. While the margins are probably going to be pretty close, I think she's the better striker. And historically, her takedown defense has been pretty good. I mean, Na Liang in general, round one, I mean, she's hard to deal with. She's a bat out of hell. She'll go balls to the wall for those first couple minutes. So she did get taken down. I understand. But De La Rosa's not, obviously, she also won't approach those type of takedowns either. She's your traditional type of wrestler. I think more often than not, it's probably just a close fight. So I'm fine with anybody taking that plus money. So I get it.
I just don't know who Oriki Lang has finished at a UFC level.
Oh my God.
I just don't know. Is it Cameron Ells?
Everyone needs to just give it up.
I will not. I'm so excited that this is what I love.
The thing is with Cameron, so you can say Cameron Ellis, that's fine, but then I'll go on Johnny Munoz's record and he finished Jamie Simmons. And Jamie Simmons,
Cameron but Ellis, I don't need him to get a finish. He's gonna decision it. I expect I can get decision him.
Did Cameron Ellis have more fights in the UFC than Jamie Simmons? Let's find this out.
That's
Jameson's
that,
only-
the
Jameson's
answer to
only
that
had 2
determines the
fights.
winner of this fight.
Yeah. Oh no. I think he actually got cut after he got knocked out.
The Afro Ninja, too
Not
bad.
ideal.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But hey, guys, we made it. It's been a roller coaster, an amazing time as always on Crown and Combat. If you're not having a good time watching the show, you're doing something wrong. But really, number one, first and foremost, really appreciate all you guys that take the time out of your week to join us and have a good time breaking down these fights. The reason I do it, I'm not the best gambler there ever was, but I love the fights, man, and I feel like at least as long as I'm not losing money in the long term and can stay in the game, then I'm doing something right. So really appreciate everyone that's helped me continue to refine my process. Danny, amazing guest today. And make sure you guys do the right thing. Throw the like here. It doesn't cost you a thing. It really helps us out. Subscribe to the channel. Seriously, like we have so much fun, and you guys commenting and joining the show makes it that much better. So please be a part of our community, and just want to say thank you to the overall MMA community in general. Danny, before we pass it off to the guru to do his thing and take us away, any final thoughts here?
No. Best of luck to everybody on the card this weekend. I myself might not have a ton of action. Going to look into the totals and props and stuff when those come out, but appreciate you guys chatting it up as usual. More than happy to come on anytime you guys want. And then the Club and Sub podcast every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Check us out, me, John Stargarian. I think we chop it up pretty good on there. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Literally, Danny,
Anytime.
thanks so much for coming on, man. You guys actually chop it up excellently, and make sure you guys do check them out because they go on an hour before us, so you can check them out and then check us out. So we go live at 8. Excellent. Danny, thanks so much. But wait, so you're not gonna have a lot of action, so you're not betting your house on Origi Long here? I'm not.
I am not.
I'm not following. So I'm honestly so excited for that fight now.
I know.
Guys, thanks.
I think that fight's probably just, I don't know. I think pick'em, like I understand why it's pick'em at the same time. Like even though like you can make compelling arguments for both sides,
100%
makes sense for that in the same, because let's just say we're maybe 2 minutes into that fight and Johnny's got a backpack on Arichi Lang. Well, it's probably not going great for the rest of that round. It's probably the round type of thing. While I don't think his wrestling's that good, his grappling in general is good once it hits the mat. So we shall see.
Get hurt, and he could get hurt easily. And the other problem is he's way too content to stay on bottom. I'm really just so excited.
Yeah, way too content to pull guard too. Yeah. Yes.
But I'm really, really excited. So, Danny, again, thanks so much for coming on. I'm definitely gonna message you as soon as that fight is over because I'm annoying like that. TB, make sure you're following him. My unbelievable co-host, TB Scouting MMA, Twitter, formerly known as now X. I don't know how to do that. It's terrible.
X, formerly known as Twitter, the artist formerly known as Prince.
I just hate all of it. Just go follow him on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. Follow me if you feel like it. The Guru Scouting MMA, Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. What an incredible card we had here. We're back for a little bit. Not too long, though. Don't get used to it too, right? We got 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Who do we got next week, TB? We got a special guest coming. So make sure you're checking it out and be there to tune in.